Juicy woman spears, for sure.
Excuse me. Did you see
There's
the
free
show?
water upstairs.
I hear Adriana's walking.
I brought some tissues in case it was emotional.
Test 1, 2. Good evening. I am Juanqui and welcome to my world. Happy Friday. Oh my God. I am pushing through, ladies and gentlemen. I am completely exhausted. I finally was able to get to my doctor today and do the whole vitamin D thing. I am just drained. So in order to stay with my 365 videos, I've been going live consistently since December 1st, 2025. Every single night, giving you something. Today, I'm going to give you my vitamin D deficiency. That's right. If I have to sit here and take it, you're going to sit there and take it too. We all going to take it. Okay, so listen, ladies and gentlemen. How did I discover my B12 deficiency? I was really tired. I was extremely tired. And so it was time for me to get my annual physical. This is why it's important to stay on top of your annual physical, ladies and gentlemen. I went in thinking my B12 levels must be jacked up, okay? Because I was, okay? I was B12 deficient a long periodical of time. As many of you already know, I had to take it up the butt. Intramuscle B12 shots. I also took IVs. I took it lingual. I took it down the throat. I took it always until the B12 got into my system. And stayed. The problem was not getting it in. Oh, honey, I could get it in. The problem was keeping it down. So all throughout my life, I had to choose. How do I intake this? Which way am I going to introduce this into my body? Long story short, so I thought to myself, okay, maybe I need to go back to the muscle. You know, the intramuscle, that's when you put the shot. You can put it up your butt. You can put it in your thighs. Wherever there's fatty tissue, you can put it in there. Because what happens is you inject the vitamin and it stays in your muscle and it releases slowly for the next couple of days, if not weeks, right? So that's what the deal is, right? So I said, let me go get my annual report, my annual checkup. Let's check for everything, including testosterone. I want to know if I am losing my testosterone and slowly becoming female by the lack thereof testosterone. Well, you'll be happy to know that my testosterone is pretty good looking right now. So there is no need to get into replacement hormone therapy to give me some more testosterone. My levels, they are decreasing, but everybody's levels decrease, and they're not decreasing at a rapidly alarming level. So that was X'd out. Okay, so it's not that. Now, my good doctor, I went to a good doctor, Savannah. She's a black female. She's Ivy League. She's board certified, and she really takes your time and looks at you in your eyes as you're talking to her. So I sat there, and she said, well, let's do a panel, everything. All right. So I have my follow-up. I saw the report in the portal, but I am, I've been through life enough to know, do not get concerned when you are in your portal reading, attempting to read and interpret labs. You didn't go to school for that shit. Okay? So, although you might be feeling ways about what you're reading in your lab core, in the portal, because they now release it to you first before the doctor even sees it, don't get concerned. Don't get concerned. My suggestion to people who get really anxious and concerned when they see reports online, it's don't start copying and pasting into Google or ChatGPT or the AI to start try to see, because a human that knows your entire workup panel and medical history is going to interpret what they're looking at. You know what I'm saying? So I saw some red up there and shit like that, but I said, you know what? I'm not stressing. I'm waiting until I sit with the good old doctor and let her explain it to me. But side note, I already knew that D vitamin was red, bright red, telling me, and my shit was almost in the single numbers. On the single numbers, drop a bomb on that. Oh yes. We are breaking all sorts of HIPAA today on my channel. You can't really break HIPAA when it's your own, and I'm not a medical professional, so let's continue. Anyway, so I sat with her today, and she confirmed the inevitable. She said, I need to stop taking the B12 because I am way above and beyond. I'm doing too much with the B12. She said, stop it. So I'm going to stop that. And then she said, but unfortunately, Mr. Pro, you are vitamin D deficient. She said, so what I'm going to go ahead and do for you, and then I got excited because I was like, what? Are you going to give me my intramuscle so I could take the shot of the booty? And she said, no, I'm not going to do that. Apparently, allegedly, vitamin D, they can give you a pill. And they can give you a pill that you take once a week for a certain amount of weeks to get you back up. All right. So no more, figuring out needles and then holding your cheek and then trying to stab yourself. And, then when that thing goes in, it just burns and it's hurting and, you're bleeding and then you have to dispose of the needle and all that. You need that vitamin D. Absolutely. Vitamin D is needed. So, my husband, the Incredible Hulk, took me to lunch and steak. That's right. We had steak for lunch. We had a nice little luncheon between my husband, the Incredible Hulk, and I. And then he swung me over by the Walgreens to pick up my medication, which was the vitamin D. Now, let's learn a little bit because, y'all know how I like to do. I like to really get into the details and into the things. So I got to the AI. I don't need the AI to prescribe me nothing, but I wanted to know. So I asked certain questions. I said to the AI, all I said to the AI was, this was the prompt, ladies and gentlemen, vitamin D. That's it. Shy non C 8034 says also on the real, vitamin D is a hormone. It's a testosterone, as is testosterone. Both are super important to living healthy. Yes, and I was saying at the beginning that she also checked my testosterone because I was feeling that maybe this man is slowly aging, or maybe rapidly aging, one of the two. And so I wanted to make sure that the testosterone was on point. Testosterone needs to be checked at the beginning of the day, as soon as you wake up. But guess what? I can prepare for situations like this. When I did the exams and all that, I went over there without eating, and I was the first one to be seen. So the reading that she got, she was pretty confident that it was an actual accurate reading. Anyway, so the AI system, all the prompt that I said was vitamin D. I guess the system knows that I'm going through it, and it says, vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin that helps your body absorb calcium, supports bone health, and plays a role in immune function. All right. The sources of vitamin D: sunlight. Skin makes it from UV exposure. Fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, and sardines. I don't know what mackerel is. She mentioned that too. I don't know what the hell that is. I do eat salmon. I'm not too crazy about it. I think I overdid salmon back in the day, and now when I look at it, it makes me feel ways. I also think that it might be full of parasites, and then I'm concerned about the pink skin color, like flesh color salmon versus the bright red one, because I heard that it was dyed. I don't know. I just always try to stay away from salmon now. Fortified foods such as milk, cereal, orange juice, which I like to believe that I get my good dose of orange juice. I haven't had Tropicana now in over 5 years. But the reason why I haven't gotten Tropicana is because I literally have a machine and I do my oranges. And I drink like freshly squeezed orange juice, no sugar added. No, the only thing I add is just like ice. I would say out of a 7-day a week, I probably have it like 4 times a week. All right. So I was thinking that was giving me enough vitamin C. And I didn't know that vitamin D was part of it, but okay. So you can also get it from egg yolk. I always eat 2 hard-boiled eggs every day with my orange juice. And then supplements, all right? The recommended daily intake is 600 to 800 IU for most adults. You need a higher dose for anybody who's over 70. Deficiency signs are fatigue, which I've had, bone pain. I was starting to experience bone pains. I thought it was carpal tunnel. Well, that's what Hulk said, that it was carpal tunnel. And then I said, fuck you, don't call me old. Drop a bomb on that. Absolutely not. And then he apologized and said, correct, maybe it's arthritis. I say, you really fucking trying me. Arthritis. But I digress. Let's get back to the text. Okay, so fatigue, bone pain, muscle weakness, mood changes. I would agree. I've had mood changes. I wouldn't say mood swings, but just like mood changes, definitely. They say it's common in people with limited sun exposure. I have recently, I would say over the last year and a half, lifestyle changes. I'm no longer outside like that. So I can see how lack of sunlight has also contributed to that. So it's common in people with limited sun exposure, darker skins, which is me, older age, we're not going to mention that, or certain digestive conditions. Okay. Let's see. And then I said to the thing, okay, please tell me, this is the next prompt I gave the AI. I said, please tell me all about a vitamin D deficiency and my doctor prescribing me a pill to be taken once a week. I want to know all about it. And that's when the AI really went to work. It really went to work. It was thinking, it was spinning. The circle of death was there in the whole nine. And then he gave me a whole production. And he said, a 50,000 IU weekly prescription is a very standard treatment for diagnosed vitamin D deficiency. Oh my God, it's official. I'm vitamin D deficient. Oh my goodness. Ain't nothing but when they put a label on you. And she sat there and she said to me, usually I would just tell my, she called me a client. Usually I would just tell my client, she didn't say patient, she said client. I would just tell my client to go over the counter. She said, but I want you to get some relief. And that's when I realized that she knew exactly what I've been going through. That's when I realized this girl, she's on point. That's when I said to myself, Ivy League, Miss Ma'am. See, my brain fog, it got me to confuse for sex and everything. Miss Ma'am, thank you so much. Because I know that you know what I'm going through. The pushing through every single day, the exhaustion, the trying to be Superman, putting my cape on, doing all the things I need to do throughout the day. Then making sure my husband, the Incredible Hulk, has a good hearty meal cooked from my own hands. Then having to get into hair and wardrobe and makeup and lashes and come out here and perform for the masses. And still leave some time to cuddle and before cuddling, do some spirituality work, close out my day, cuddle and watch some Beyond the Gates or some Love After Lockup of some of my fellow content creators with my husband, the Incredible Hulk. It's a lot. And she said, but I want you to get some relief. So I'm going to prescribe you this. You're going to take once a week for the next, I think she said like 6 weeks or something like that. And she said, and hopefully you'll start feeling better soon. So the AI said a 50,000 IU weekly prescription is a very standard treatment for diagnosed vitamin D deficiency. Nothing unusual about it. Here's the full picture. Why this dose exists. Over-the-counter vitamin D, which is between 400 and 200 and 2,000 IU, is meant for maintenance, not for correcting an actual deficiency. When blood levels are low, usually below 20 ng/mL, sometimes below 30 depending on the lab doctor, a much bigger dose is needed to rebuild your body's stores faster. How is typically used? A standard protocol of 50,000 IU once a week for 6 to 8 weeks, which is what she said. Sometimes extended to 12 weeks for more severe deficiency. After that, your doctor usually rechecks blood levels and switches you to a lower maintenance dose, often 1,000 to 2,000 IU daily, or sometimes 50,000 IU once a month. Drop a bomb on the numbers. This is typically vitamin D2, as in 1-2, buckle my shoe, or D3. Both work. D3 is slightly more effective at raising blood levels long term. What to expect? It's a fat soluble vitamin, so take it with a meal that has some fat for better absorption. So I took it right after my husband took me to lunch and steak. So, I had that fat steak up in my belly, and so I took it right after that. Most people don't feel dramatically different quickly, which is they don't feel the bone muscle symptoms improve gradually over weeks to months. I would say, though, I took that, and within a couple of hours, I was literally like a couple of hours, maybe 1 or 2 hours, I was down for the count. I fell in the deepest sleep. Now, hence, I also took a vitamin, I took a allergy pill this morning, which that one tends to make you feel it. But when I took that vitamin D, it really took me down today. And then so I said to the AI, because I was not feeling like myself. I'm still not. I said to the AI, is it normal to feel tired and sleepy after your first dose? And what made me think about this was when I was self-administrating intramuscle 50,000 units of B12 up the butt with a syringe. After I would take the vitamin D that way, the B12 that way, like an hour or two later, I will crash. And that's completely normal for B12. Like when you take B12, uh, in that way, intramuscle, you get tired right after that. But then the next month, you're running like Superman. Which then can become a problem because, when I was on that whole regimen and stuff, I was running the city pretty much. I was doing my thing, and energy was the best currency that I could find. And so if I was feeling, down or whatever, just pop another B12 and keep it moving, okay? But now my levels are so skyrocketed that she was like, you probably don't need no B12 for like the next 5 years. So we're off it now. So I asked the AI, I said, is it normal to feel tired and sleepy after your first dose? And AI came back quickly with the quickness and the shade and said, yes, that can happen. Although it's not universal, a few things are going on. Not somebody says, the AI said, why it might happen. 50,000 IUs is a big jump from what your body's used to. And so some people notice fatigue or grogginess as levels shift. Vitamin D plays a role in serotonin, melatonin pathways. Ooh, that sounded black. Yes. Melatonin, melanin. All right. Vitamin D plays a role in serotonin, melatonin pathways. So some people report feeling sleepy or even a bit off for a day or two after a large dose. I'm not even making it up. Ladies and gentlemen. This is how I'm feeling. If you took it with a big meal, some of that tiredness could just be normal post-meal sleepiness combined with the new pill. Well, I had lunch and steak, so that's probably what it was. That combination, lethal. I did not have no alcohol today, though. I'm just want to get this situated before I probably won't be intaking no more alcohol until any celebrations this summer. So, for what remains of the summer, your body could also just be responding to the correcting a real deficiency. Some people feel tired as their system adjusts. Similarly to how you might feel run down when any body chemistry shifts. What's normal versus what's not. Mild tiredness, sleepiness, or feeling different for a day or so is common and not concerning. Severe nausea. Vomiting, confusion, excessive thirst. The thirst is real. Frequent urination or muscle weakness is not typical from a single normal dose and worth calling your doctor about it, since in rare cases they can signal your calcium levels reacting. Then the AI tries to close me out by giving me some words of encouragement and some follow-up. And the AI says, since this was your first dose, keep an eye on how you feel over the next few doses. If tiredness continues weekly or gets worse rather than better, that's worth mentioning to your doctor. But a bit of grogginess after dose 1 is usually nothing to worry about. And I just want to say, it's so important to have partners, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, frenemies, people who hang around you that really understand and get you and respect how you feel. I say this because all my life I had to fight to have people around me understand that I am not a motherfucking machine. Though I look like I have it all put together and I can run at 1,000 miles. Well, certainly back in the day, I have various factors going towards it and pushing me towards it, which I'm not gonna get into right now because the laundry list is long. But I feel like I've always had to justify and explain myself when I was not feeling 100%, and when undiagnosed, pretty much B12 deficiency went unnoticed, and my inability to keep up at times or run at a really high rate and then crash and burn for a few weeks, and everybody around me having issues with it. If I did not feel like going to events, well, he's antisocial. If I was with a partner and I just wanted to sleep, well, you don't want to do anything. If I was with friends and did not feel like the carrying on and the, going to this and doing that, or going to support them on this or do that, I'm no longer that good of a friend. When in actuality, it was an internal battle that was going on. I am so blessed to be able to have an incredible Hulk that understands and cares about how I feel and sees that, okay, this is, he feels tired, and then is invested in what the doctor says, my lab work and all that. I understand. Oh yeah, he's B12 deficient, and now D, right? B12 is covered now, but now D, and these are the things that happen. So that makes sense, and he completely understands. And I'm blessed that when I feel and I go through these things, I have somebody who understands. Instead of having me to argue and go back and forth as to why I don't want to do X, Y, and Z. And it's not usually, back in the day, it's not I don't want to do it. It's like I can't do it. I can't get off this bed. I can't get off this chair. I can't, like that type of thing. So I'm so glad that I'm blessed to have somebody who understands that sometimes Juanqui Pro needs to take a slow pace, and there's some stuff going on and we're taking care of it, and then the levels will be back up and I will be back to normal again. Anyway, if you have stuck around this long, thank you so much. Please hit that like button. If you are recently diagnosed with a vitamin D deficiency, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Somebody turned the light all the way at the end of the tunnel, and I'm at the mouth of the tunnel. Okay, so I just stepped in. I got 1 foot in, and I'm gonna start walking through towards that light. Step into the light, Caroline. I will keep you abreast of the situation because I believe that knowledge is power. I believe that it's important for people to learn from people and their experiences. If people can take a few things here and there. If you're a male, and you're not feeling well, you're feeling under the weather, you notice that, okay, your recovery levels are all jacked up. Another simple thing that for me that made me realize about the B12 deficiency back in the day was not being able to complete my routine at the gym when I was doing the gym and stuff like that. And it was like, well, this used to be really simple for me. I used to be able to get on a treadmill and do 15 minutes as a warm-up, and now I get on the treadmill, I barely could do 15 minutes. And if I get to 15 minutes, my rest of the workout is out the window and shot because I'm exhausted. Now, living in New York City, you write that off as, oh, well, I'm in the city, the hustle and bustle is, it's a highly stressful environment. No, it's not just that. It's not just that. It's important for you to stay on top of your physical health, and that you're getting your annual checkups, testicular examinations, all of that, absolutely all of that, because it's better to catch shit early and be able to work on it and repair it than down the line when it's too fucking late. So I am fantasizing, I'm romanticizing when I go and sit with my doctor again and she tells me your levels are up the roof again. We don't need you to do no more vitamin D. You're good. And I'll keep you abreast of the situation. Let's see. Like I said, I took my first dose and it took me the fuck down. The fuck down. To the point where I know this is not just the allergy pill. This is not the allergy pill. This is I feel off, just like the AI was saying. So it's good to know that it could validate how I'm feeling. Anyway, with that said, I want to thank everybody who came through. Please hit that like button. I will be back tomorrow. I'm attempting to go live tomorrow on video, so make sure that you are around so that we can do. I want to do like a non-safe for work confession and just rant and shit. So happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Thank you for being here, and I will see you soon.